Hey, folks. So Kellyanne Conway found her way at Bill Maher's studio for an interview here, and always very interesting. Whenever she's on his show, Bill Maher, you already know that he's just a flip flopper. Stephen A. Smith syndrome. But Kellyanne Conway does a excellent job at speaking. I mean, when she worked with the Trump administration, I thought she was fantastic. I really did. She's very smart, very witty, and she's able to just shoot straight forward, man. I really dig, her, Kellyanne Conway. Hey, folks. So Kellyanne Conway found her way over at but Bill Maher has the most severe Trump derangement syndrome known to man. So, he thinks that Biden's still pretty amazing. It's just really hard to believe that these people really believe this stuff. And I just don't, I just don't understand what they're thinking about. But the only conclusion I've ever been able to come up with is that they're just far out of touch. They're elite. It's like, watching a football game with someone who knows nothing about football, but they still try to talk about football. That's exactly what it's like. That's exactly what it's like. You're watching the game, you're enjoying it, you're hooting and hollering, but you don't know what first down, second down, third down. You don't know how many yards are left. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what is happening. But you're still talking about it, and everybody's looking at you like you're crazy. And they don't understand the language you're speaking. So I want to go ahead and run this, and I want to react to it because, like I said, Kellyanne Conway just absolutely nails it. And Bill Maher, it's just, I don't know.
Ta-da! Oh,
you had a long oration there. I'm just going to say, I could put together, and people have, a video of Trump looking absolutely just as senile and doing crazy senile, and of course,
you can't really do that as much as you can for Joe Biden. We could sit up here. We have a whole encyclopedia of YouTube videos of Joe Biden's gaffes. He has so many gaffes on the internet that YouTube probably started taking them down because they're just too many to choose from. And it would absolutely obliterate any chances of even any of his family members becoming president after seeing so many gaffes. But he wants to put together a video of Trump having gaffes. Okay. I've watched Trump speak so many times, and the rest of America has too. We see the Trump talks for hours. If you leave Joe Biden on the stage for more than 5 minutes, he might poop himself, and you're not going to understand 2 words he's saying after the first 4 minutes. But Trump has the cognitive malfunction problem. I think not, son.
Joe Biden is not actually crazy. Your guy.
This is shocking. He said that Joe Biden's not actually crazy. Joe Biden literally just said the other day,
how many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
If you have a hard time trying to figure out who to vote for, me or Trump, you ain't black. He said that. I still can't believe he's saying these things. And this guy is saying that Joe Biden's not actually crazy. This is wild, man. These people think totally different than us.
He's actually crazy. He does. That is Trump derangement syndrome works both ways. If you don't recognize that he has malignant, narcissistic, whatever they call that, it's not just it's just not a personality quirk. That would be one thing. We all have personality quirks. This is a disease. If somebody tells him he's a brilliant guy and very handsome, you own him. That's the most dangerous thing.
Okay. So if somebody tells Trump that he's a brilliant guy, you own him. All right, I think that what Bill Maher, I think what Bill Maher is saying is really stupid. But if somebody calls me a brilliant guy and they seem to like me, I might take a liking to that person. Okay, all right, I think that's pretty normal. If somebody likes you and they shows affection towards you or something like that, you can say, hey man, that guy, he's pretty cool. Or that girl, she's pretty cool. What's wrong with that? These people try to take the most simple things and make them absolutely crazy. This is crazy, man, what they're talking about. Like, it just makes no sense. They have nothing on him, and they just try to make it seem like he's so unnormal. Like he's just a whack job. It's like, we know Joe Biden's a whack job, but we got to cover up for him somehow. How can we do it? Oh, yeah, we can call Trump a whack job. Weird, bro.
In a president. He doesn't make decisions rationally. The reason why he's so ahead is because he doesn't have to worry about policy points that he makes because no one takes him seriously anyway. He's all...
Oh, here come the emotions. He's about to... He might cry. No one takes Trump seriously anyway. Oh, we're taking it very serious, Bill Maher. Okay, we're taking it very serious. All right, we want our borders closed. All right, we want food back on the shelves when we actually go to the supermarket. That'd be great. I know you can't see any of that living in Hollywood. You know, you all have peasants. You probably whip them to make make them get you food and Chinese food and eating all that soy, but. You know, we know you don't understand, and we don't get it. And there's, millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of people who love Trump, and they're all crazy, right? They're all stupid. So I like what Kellyanne is going to say here, because Trump has a lot of support, and they're just normal people. Why don't you try to go to a Trump rally, Bill? All right, you can leave your studio. Ain't nobody going to beat your ass.
All over the map. He pulls it out of his ass. He changes one day for the next. So no one ever takes him seriously. It's the greatest advantage a politician can have.
But if you're trying to win,
I bet you one person that will take him serious when he goes in office, Zelensky. I bet you Zelensky will take Trump serious. I bet you Putin will take Trump serious. I bet you won't have these foreign wars. It seems like Joe Biden's not really taken very seriously at all, because we're having a lot of wars and a lot of college students turning things up around the country. You see that, Bill? Have you turned on the news? Have you watched any of that stuff right now? Joe Biden's not law and order. Did you notice that yet? Nobody takes him seriously. That's the problem here. Nobody takes. I tell you who they do take serious. Also, Xi Jinping. Remember when he came to California? They had to clean up the streets, right? Get the homeless people out of the way, clean up the poop. Remember that? That's what they take serious. The communist leadership of China. That's what they actually take serious. But it's certainly not Trump who they don't take serious. That's for sure. And America knows it. Okay.
over that narrow slice of kind of undecided voters, or maybe people who voted for Biden but have lost interest in
people who tie their tie like this, by the way, like this guy, you don't tie a tie like that. I'm just saying. I don't really try to pick on people's personal preference, but I always try to teach my kids like how to do things, the right way, so they're not crooked when you get on TV. When you come on the Bill Maher show, you actually have a straight tie. It's really easy. They got YouTube videos on the Windsor tie. That's all you got to do is look it up. It's very easy. It might be complex to a liberal or something.
Staying awake seems like a kind of a baseline requirement for Trump. You want to project a little bit bigger, right?
Especially if he coined the term Sleepy Joe.
Exactly. Yes. So, but hold on. The reason that he's winning, and thank you for not taking it to the next step, because I know you don't, but many do, Bill, who don't like Trump and don't want him to be the president, which is to castigate and denigrate the millions of people who support him. That's a big mistake. Jamie Dimon had a point from JP Morgan when he said over in Davos, why are we making fun of fellow Americans? But so many do. They laugh at his voters. They ridicule them. And I have news for the donors, the anchors, the pollsters, everybody of privilege. There are many more of them than there are of us. And there is one group of people that decides who our presidents are. The voters, the people, voters. Thank God.
Exactly.
And I will say this. I think Donald Trump vanquished the Republicans who were running against him, never even taken to the debate stage, for a very simple reason. I don't think these legal cases created his resurgence, but they helped to cement them, number one. But number two, it's for the same bias in hiring we all have. We all have the same bias in hiring. We hire people to do a job who've done the job before. You ask them about their experience. You look at their references. You call people about their work product. We have that bias. And so now people, for the first time in centuries or ever, have an opportunity to look at two presidents who have served in the job as commander in chief, as president of the United States, and you decide. Do I feel more comfortable or better off with one or the other? It's a binary choice. It's very clean. But as for policy, you can't argue with the facts. You can't argue that 2019, we had the highest wage per household and the lowest poverty rate in modern history. I mean,
Big, gigantic facts. Okay. That's what we're talking about. And we need people like Kellyanne to go on and to explain this to the elites of Hollywood, because they don't really understand what we're talking about. They don't understand what the American people and what America is actually about. They don't understand any of that. They've already benefited off of the American dream. They've become these huge successes. And they pretty much forgot what it was like to have a struggle. They forgot what it was like to, afford the kind of things some of these people don't have families. Some of them are lonely. They just don't understand that. So I'm glad that we have people like Kellyanne to go on and educate them, a woman of God, to go and educate them, being calm, being cool. God bless her for doing this, because we need it. We need more of it. It's always so good to see strong conservative men and women to go out into the world and basically preach the gospel of truth, man. Like, just tell everybody what the real deal is and what's actually happening, because they don't get it. They don't get it. If you're reading the scriptures, you know what's going on. You know how people get persecuted and prosecuted. You understand that. But a lot of these people flatly decline any of the teachings of the Bible, which is the problem. That's why we are where we are. And I don't care what anybody has to say about that. I'm not going to apologize for talking about the Bible. I love the Bible. We'll always be Bible thumpers forever, even in the kingdom. So what she's saying is absolutely so on point, and it's just common sense. It really is, man. And the world has lost common sense right now, and that's where we are. But sometimes Bill Maher, he touched on some things that make pretty good sense, and even for a rock solid guy like myself, I would agree with some of the things he said. But when we start going off track, it's just kind of like TYT and Anna Kasparian and Chink Uger. It's kind of like those guys where, they see what's going on, and they can identify the problem, but it's like, how do we solve it? They get stuck on how do we solve it? They get stuck on identity politics and, what a person's saying and what, forget about people's personalities here this time around, guys. Forget about what people are saying. Forget about, Trump messing up or Biden messing up. If Biden was a gaffe machine, but he was doing the right things, we would just laugh at him still, but we would always give what credit is due, really. But Biden is terrible on the economy. He's terrible on the borders. He's terrible on law and order. He's just terrible on so many things. And it's reflecting in the so-called polls that he has. And I don't really keep a close eye on polls or really believe a whole lot of polls, because I always think that, when the people are revolting and people are saying, no, this is not what we want. And it's very loud and clear, especially when you have social media platforms, to see how many people are doing this. You can read the comments. I just don't believe that the numbers are as low as they're saying when it comes to the conservative candidate, and that happens to be Trump at this time. I think that his numbers would be so much higher if they did a broader scale of polling. So that's one of the reasons why not that I don't believe that Trump is winning. Of course I believe that. I know he's smoking Biden. Okay. He's smoking them like a salmon, and everybody knows it. All right. Everybody knows it. Biden's getting the pants smoke clearing off him. So, but I want to continue here.
Well, the trade deals, the border was more secure. I mean, these things matter to people.
The biggest fact in the last 3 elections, and in how many in the future, I don't know, is that one guy does not concede when he loses. He does not concede when he loses. This is the crux of what America is.
That Bill Maher, that's not the crux of what America is, because one guy's, played in an unfair game. He saw unfair advantages from his opponent, and it's very clear. There's video proof, and it's very clear that we've seen injustices. We've seen injustices, and this guy's not allowed to say this was rigged. So what? So why are you butthurt? Because he's saying that you know why? Because this is a talking point of the Democrat Party. They never want to lose. But in the case where, this is where it gets confusing, because the Democrats say, Hillary Clinton said this for a long time. She wouldn't concede. Well, she probably felt like she won. Okay, fine. You felt like you won. So what? Is anybody attacking her for that? All right, and is anybody doing? No, there's more Trump supporters than Hillary supporters could ever be. Okay, why? Because most people actually have common sense and they're for we the people. All right, if Hillary Clinton was as popular as Trump, there probably would have been a so-called insurrection as well. Okay, but she doesn't have that kind of supporter. All right, Trump supporters are America First supporters. Hillary Clinton's not America First, and that's very clear. So that's why Trump has more supporters. That's why his supporters are more aggressive. That's why his supporters are not having it. All right. So to Bill Maher's point, no, that the crux of America. No, the crux of America is the American dream, the freedom of speech, the freedom of 2A, your constitutional rights that are given to you, ordained by God. So the crux of America is not that one guy won't admit. If you're playing in a football game, you got two teams and one guy obviously cheated. You got it on camera and you've seen it with your own two eyes, basically, allegedly. You've seen this with your own two eyes. What's wrong with him saying, I think I won. We thought we won. We had more votes. When we went to sleep, we were winning. When we woke up in the election, it's still counting. We've never done that before. We've never counted. I don't ever remember America ever counting ballots for weeks. Did you guys forget about that? No, I didn't forget about it. So that's not constitutional. Well, the election is supposed to be over and done with. Okay, on the day of the election. Period. All right. So he doesn't. These people don't understand America. Like I said, they're very far out of touch. And I'm not just saying that just to be saying it. They really are very far out of touch. They just don't get what we're talking about. They really don't. And so that's why we got to keep telling them because they don't see that the average person cares about this stuff. Like she said, this is the things that people care about. But she's very passionate and she's right. The average Americans really care about open borders. We feel unsafe out here. All right, you're Hollywood elites. You can, you have security. You're in gated communities, and you should still understand. You should still be humble enough to understand that there are people out here that don't have that security, don't have that kind of money to secure themselves. And then you want to take away their gun rights where they can actually try to protect themselves, but you leave your borders open. Like, it's wild, man. Like they just don't understand.
There is nothing more important than that. And you cannot convince me that that's not the truth.
And that's the problem. Nobody can convince Bill Maher that, he thinks that the crux of America is someone conceding to an election. Okay. Why is that such a big deal that someone says, I think I won? I'm pretty sure I won. Why is that so crazy? I tell you what, we're going to see why it's crazy, because I believe in my heart of hearts that what I've seen with my own two eyes is true about the election being, what. Okay. I believe that. All right. And I've seen a lot of footage, lots of footage. And why would I believe that? Well, the people on the left have done some really bad things in the past. All right. So we have not been able to trust the people on the left. They've burned down our country. They've burned our flags. They've let illegals in. They've let drugs in. They've tried to teach our kids things we would never want them to learn. So we have to homeschool them. And we should do that in the first place. Okay. Lots of things they're doing, raising the cost on people so they can't afford to buy bread, butter, eggs, milk. This is crazy. Why would you do that to some people? All right. Coming out, basically making it very hard for white America, white people. This is hateful. That's very, very, very hateful what they've managed to do. The Democrat Party has managed to do to the conservative base. Hillary Clinton called us deplorables. They treat us like dirt when we actually built this country. I would put my life on the line for this country. Okay. I would put my life on the line for my children's future. I really would do that. Okay. I believe in America. Seriously. And these people don't. They actually don't. They have no idea. And they certainly have benefited from American capitalism. They benefited all across the board in America, but yet they hate it.
Biden's tried to push that message. He's just not a very vigorous campaigner on those issues. But if you look at the issues of preserving U.S. democracy, that's one of the biggest vote motivators among Democrats, and even among independent voters who I've been talking to out in some of these swing states. They do worry that if Trump gets back in there, he'll never leave.
And how about trying to lock up your political opponent? I mean, that's election interference. You're trying to arrest the guy running for president right around election time. You're bringing up old things that happened in the past or didn't happen in the past in order to, prosecute this man and indict him and get him arrested right during the election season. That's crazy. So you don't ever have to concede. You get it? So they cheat beforehand. They try to lie on you beforehand so they don't have to come and concede. They come up with a plan to arrest this man. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, okay, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, they're all behind this, in my opinion. They're all behind all of this. All right? There's something about what's going on that doesn't smell good at all, man. I'm telling you. And people like Bill Maher and people that run his kind of shows, The View, they don't know anything about any of that stuff. All right. But we know what's going on. We all know what's happening. All right.
Man, tell him to be a man. That's what men do. You ever watch the end of a football game? They fought like hell. And the coaches, they walk across the field and they shake hands. They don't want to do it. It hurts like hell. And they do it.
It's a good message.
He's the first guy who just won't do it.
It's an equally good message for the many Democratic members of Congress, many of whom are still there because they're in safe seats forever, who have never voted to certify a presidential election of a Republican candidate in this century. They didn't do it for Bush, Trump. No,
That's
this matters.
the weakest whataboutism I've ever heard.
It's not a whataboutism. They either did or they didn't. They won't certify.
Right. See, and he doesn't want to hear that because that's politics. That's politics. All right. So basically what they're trying to do, all right, is convince us that, because this man won't say that he lost, he's the most despicable human being on the planet Earth. Okay, fine. You got it. That's it. That's what they're trying to do. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, okay, in the Biden crime family, let's just ignore every damn thing they're doing. Let's just forget about it. Let's just forget about the James Comer investigations on Hunter Biden laptop. We don't need to talk about any of that stuff. But Trump is absolutely despicable. Oh, he's Hitler. See what they're doing? Like, Bill Maher doesn't have a clue what the hell he's talking about. Okay, I'm sorry, he really doesn't. Big shout out to Kellyanne for doing that, for getting on, being a voice of reason, being the adult on the show. All right. We're not talking about feelings here. We're talking about policy. We're talking about what people actually care about. Notice that Bill Maher never said anything about what people may be caring about or why people would vote for Trump. Why? What are the issues? They never talk about that. Not even once. Guys, this has been Yup, I Said It. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Pretty please. I love you. Have a good day.